So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough.
Do you have any plans to pull out of Minnesota?
No plans to pull out of Minnesota.
Minneapolis is being occupied by federal agents who are harassing, intimidating, and kidnapping residents. Shame.
But I can tell you Minnesota is out of control. You have local and state leaders who seem to be encouraging violence and all of this madness. And the president's frustrated about it, and so are we.
And it's despicable what we're seeing from these Democrat politicians, especially in sanctuary states and cities across the country.
Happening now, the federal government hammering down on its mission in Minnesota as local leaders call for ICE agents to leave in the wake of another shooting. Thanks for joining us. President Donald Trump is now threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act in Minnesota if federal agents are not allowed to do their jobs.
We explain what this move could mean in just a few minutes. But first, the latest. Homeland Security says a federal law enforcement officer shot a man from Venezuela last night near 24th and Lindell Avenues North. We are told that the man, along with two other people, assaulted the ICE officer with a shovel and broom. The ICE officer shot the man in the leg. They both went to the hospital for treatment.
ICE can leave, and this massive deployment can come to an end. This is already the second shooting that we've had in a week. People are scared. The atmosphere is tense.
My hope is that this leadership team in Minnesota will start to work with us to get criminals off the streets. Remember, we are there in surged operations because of the largest fraud scheme in American history.
The president on social media saying in part he will institute the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to deploy troops here. Quote, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE.
The backlash is boiling over. That includes a new lawsuit aimed at the federal government.
The president has repeatedly denigrated Somali people and said they should go back where they came from. He has repeatedly suggested that they are picking up Somali and Latino criminals, when in reality they are harassing, stopping, and detaining hard-working Minnesotans in their neighborhoods.
The American Civil Liberties Union is pursuing legal action on behalf of 3 Minnesotans. They say ICE violated their constitutional rights. Our team coverage begins today with Connor White, who is near the scene of last night's shooting.
He joins us now. So, Connor, what's happening out there this afternoon?
Aaron, Amelia, a school bus just dropped off kids next door to the one that ICE were focused on last night. So it's a quiet but residential neighborhood. We spent most of the day trying to talk to neighbors and track down security footage, but so far, no luck. A lot of people are telling us they're simply too nervous to speak this evening. So for now, there's little video evidence available to the public as ICE shoots a second person in the span of a week. This time, DHS is stating that an agent fired in self-defense, injuring a Venezuelan man named Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. They say that he and 2 others attacked the ICE agent prior to the shooting.
3 individuals weaponized shovels and brooms and attack an ICE officer that had to defend himself. So we're hopeful that we don't see that again.
According to DHS, both the agent and the man who was eventually detained were hospitalized for their injuries, expected to survive. It's important to know that Secretary Kristi Noem did very quickly, after Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent last week in South Minneapolis, claim that Good was trying to run over that agent. And that is still the line coming from the federal government at the moment. Though when more video surfaced of various eyewitness accounts on that street, some began to push back on that narrative. For the time being, we don't have similar footage to suggest otherwise in this case, but tonight at 5 we will be taking a closer look at what some people claim could be a 911 call video that sheds some light on what could have been going on inside the home. Aaron, Amelia?
All right. Thank you, Connor. Not only were bullets deployed last night, but canisters and fireworks were also seen on the streets.
Frankie McLister witnessed a group working today to clean up that mess.
It's been quiet in the neighborhood where the shooting occurred, but what we have observed are people coming out here to help. After a night of subtle unrest, a morning of coming together, wagon by wagon.
We picked up water bottles, milk cartons, gas canisters, flashbangs.
A group of more than 30 from the Marshall Terrace neighborhood organization showed up to the scene where bullets were deployed by federal agents for the second time in a week.
Shattered plastic, snack wrappers.
With the goal of helping where they could.
What's running through your mind when you woke up today?
Let's go. Time to show up for the community.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension announcing they're launching an investigation and also appeared at the scene from time to time. And as the sun comes up again, the volunteer we spoke with says nothing would stop them from showing up.
I love my community and I love the Mississippi River, and I would do anything for either one of them.
Frankie McLister, WCCO News.
Minnesota DFL Governor Tim Walz is trying to get a hold of President Trump directly today. He's making an appeal to, quote, turn the temperature down and, quote, stop this campaign of retribution. Meanwhile, in response, ICE accused the governor of hostile and inflammatory rhetoric against its agents. Now, this comes as tensions are escalating and the immigration crackdown intensifies after another ICE shooting last night. 1 week after the shooting of Renee Good. There are also deep divisions about how people see ICE's presence here and their behavior. We spoke with an expert in conflict resolution who's worked on a team dedicated to that work at late President Jimmy Carter's nonprofit.
Lessons from conflicts around the world make clear that elites set a tone. Those could be elected leaders, they could be media personalities. And what they say matters a lot. It cues people. It sets boundaries for acceptable behavior. It helps people understand their reality. So it is particularly incumbent on our leaders, our governor, our president, to be very, very thoughtful in how they engage on these questions.
It's not clear if Walz and the president have spoken. In a White House press briefing earlier this afternoon, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said they had not. Back now to a top headline today. President Trump threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act if attacks on ICE officers do not stop.
Esme Murphy joins us now. And so, Esme, are we at the point where the president could actually invoke the Insurrection Act?
Aaron and Amelia, all the experts that I spoke with said yes. The president can invoke the Insurrection Act. The order would involve sending armed active duty troops to the ground here. But let's get some context. First, in his social media post, the president said, quote, many presidents have used the Insurrection Act. That is true, but the last time a president used the Insurrection Act was back in 1992 to help handle violent protests in Los Angeles after the verdict in the Rodney King case. In that case, 4 white police officers were acquitted of taking a black man out of his car and beating him. The Insurrection Act was also used repeatedly during the Civil Rights era to promote desegregation. The Insurrection Act has been used 30 times in 230 years. The act is used generally for 3 reasons: at the request of a state government, to protect constitutional rights, or to enforce federal laws. The president on social media says he would use the troops to, quote, put an end to this travesty that is taking place in that once great state. We talked to constitutional law professor David Schultz about whether the president needs any authorization.
No, he does not. Under the 1807 Act, the president is giving wide latitude to invoke the Insurrection Act. And there's no definition within the act of what actually constitutes an insurrection. So it's a lot of discretion that is given to him in this situation here.
Now, when the Insurrection Act was used in L.A. in 1992, the U.S. military was activated at the request of the Republican governor of California. They were only active for a few days, but they were effective. The crowds did disappear back then.
Yeah, so Esme, what about the National Guard? I mean, we know that Governor Walz has them on standby.
They are on standby. They are ready to go. But interestingly enough, if this Insurrection Act is invoked, it would mean that the National Guard, which is currently under the control of and command of Governor Walz, would transfer and be federalized to the control and command of President Trump.
Esme, we appreciate it.